Hello, this is Lily Cernak. I'm in Studio 303 at the Goggleworks, which I share with my father, Alan Cernak. Well, actually, I'm not there right now. I am at my apartment where I have been for the past 3 weeks, like many of you. Among many of the things that have been canceled over the past couple weeks or so, one of the things I was very sad about was the end of the after-school arts program, and also the start of the following after-school arts program. I was really looking forward to seeing everybody at Family Arts Night and seeing all the different works from all of the various classes, but I'm still looking forward to it just further into the future. So for now, since we can't physically meet at the Goggleworks for a little while, I wanted to try to find a way to help share some drawing with each other through the internet. So today we're going to be looking at some things we can do to draw animals. Unfortunately, I am not quarantined with a furry friend. My furry friends are with my parents, and they are enjoying each other's company very much, but I do not have a kitty or a dog or any other creature, hopefully, that I know of, unless there's a new mouse moved into the walls. So I have my favorite internet cat joining me today instead. This is Maru the cat of YouTube fame. So today we are going to be drawing Maru. However, you can use any of these techniques to draw any kind of animal that you like. So since we are all at home for a while, and many of you do have furry or feathered friends with you at home, now is the perfect time to do some life drawing. Hopefully this can give you some fun and relaxing activities to do with your pets while you are at home with them. And again, we're going to be kind of going over just some general stuff for drawing animals, so if you wanted to draw not a cat, I know not everyone is a cat person somehow, you can use these techniques to draw birds or hamsters or dogs or horses, whatever you happen to have around you. So what we're going to do is we are just going to break this cat up into essential shapes. And the reason we want to do this is we want to do the initial sketch as quickly as possible. It seems kind of counterintuitive, like, oh, we shouldn't be paying attention to these details, but the quicker you do and the messier you do this initial sketch, the more you can capture kind of the life and the motion of your subject. And also, we can always tidy up those details later. We want to get these essential shapes down so we can make sure everything looks the way that we want. So I apologize if my drawing comes out a little off-center, because I'm kind of looking at this a little crooked, but I'll do my best. So here is our kind of circle for our head shape. I'm going to block out his body as just a big long rectangle. Actually, I'm going to move this up a little bit. So this is why you don't want to spend too much time on the initial sketch, because I've already decided I drew that too big. Let's try that one more time. Here's his little head and his long rectangle body. There we go, that fits a little better. Now we have that, I'm going to block in his bottom leg as just a triangle shape. He's got those like cat turkey legs. So we have this triangle with another rectangle on the bottom for the bottom of his leg. Can't really see this other leg super well, so I'm just going to block in another kind of triangle-esque shape. And then his big fluffy tail will just be this sort of noodle shape at the back. These front two legs, he's got kind of perched up here, so I'm going to do those as one rectangle here, and then another rectangle there. And then I'm going to erase these top parts and add in some circles for his paws. And then here's this, I'm not quite sure what this thing is he's leaning on, but some kind of vase or container. Oh yes, and then some triangles for his ears. So now that we have this kind of general set of shapes, we can start kind of tidying things up and adjusting and adding in some of the details. So I'm going to use a different color for the details so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. So I think that's pretty good proportion-wise. I'm not going to change too much, but I will be smoothing out some of these shapes in a moment because some of these parts don't look quite like a cat yet. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to add in some kind of almondy shapes for his eyes. And again, everything, even on the face, you can think of as being just essential shapes. So his eyes are kind of almondy shaped with circles in the center for the pupils. Ooh, making them red made him look kind of scary. Oh well. His little nose is going to be a triangle, and he's kind of looks like he's frowning almost. I'm going to do an upside down triangle for his mouth. We can figure out kind of where the whiskers are going to go. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra detail for his feet. Maybe we can see a little bit of his toes. I like to think of cat feet sometimes as, well, it depends on how detailed you want to be. Cat feet have 5 toes, just like we would have 5 toes, but sometimes I end up just drawing, here's my paw shape. We divide that into 3 toes. Sometimes that's easier to figure out where we want all the toes to go. And I draw a lot of kind of more cartoony and anime style things, so my cats are usually not too realistic looking, but if you want to be more realistic, you can give them all 5 toes. But again, we're just thinking of everything as a shape, so even for that foot, that cat foot, kind of start off with just like an oval at the end of their foot, and just divide that into 2 or 3 more little sections. I'm going to erase this big foot from here. Okay, and his bottom feet we can't really see too well. So now I'm going to go back to my black marker and I'm going to smooth out some of these shapes a little bit. Maybe erase some of the lines that I don't need. We know his leg is going to be here, so I'm going to get rid of that. Smooth some of these shapes together a little bit more. Starting to look more like a cat shape. And now, clean up his head a little bit, kind of connect his triangle ears to his circle head. And then I'm going to go in with a different color and we're going to do my favorite part, which is adding fluff. This cat is not a particularly fluffy cat, so I'm going to maybe exaggerate this a little bit. Move this leg up a little. There we go. So when you're drawing the fur, and this goes for feathers or any kind of other animal coating also, you want to think about what way would I be petting this creature. And that's the direction you always want to draw the markings and the fur going. So in the case of a cat, we would always be petting them like this, right? We're not going to pet them this way or this way, because then they would get really mad and scratch us or something. So we want to kind of draw any fur lines we have also going in that fur direction. So like here, we can see kind of some fuzz on his stomach. I'm going to draw that with all the fuzz lines pointing down. So that's the direction I want my hair to look like it's going. Again, I'm not going to add too much detail. A little bit of fur detail goes a long way. If you're trying to go more realistic, then you want to add lots of fur detail, but I'm going to leave mine a little bit more like simplified and cartoonish. So I'm just going to add some fur details here and there. That'll give us the full idea of that this is a fluffy cat. So I'm going to add some on the bottom of his tail, again being careful of the direction I draw those fuzz lines going. A little bit on the back of his legs, and then a little bit on his like fluffy chest and around his face. A little bit in the ears. Now the last thing that I want to do before I add his markings is I'm going to finish cleaning this up. So if you were doing this on pencil and pen and paper, what you could do is you could do the sketch in pencil and go over it with a Sharpie or a marker or a pen. I'm going to just try to clean this up the best I can with my finger. So it'll still be a little messy, but that's okay. Again, the idea of doing these kinds of sketches is, especially if you're drawing from a live animal, is not really to get everything perfect, especially because animals move a lot, so you'd only have a little bit of time potentially to be drawing a particular pose of your cat or your dog. This is more just kind of getting drawing experience, having some fun, so if it's a little messy, then that's all for the better. Life drawings often come out kind of sketchy and messy, but you actually learn a lot more sometimes from doing a sketchy, messy drawing than you would from doing a super detailed drawing, because we can do a lot more sketchy drawings in a day, and it feels a lot less intimidating to say, oh, I'm just going to do a messy sketch. I'm not going to worry about all these details. And sometimes if we feel more relaxed about it, we'll end up doing more drawing and learning even more about drawing. So now that I've kind of cleaned up this cat, Actually, I'm going to give him a little bit more fluff. It doesn't look quite fluffy enough. Some more face fluff, chin fluff, maybe a little bit of back fluff. There we go. Now he looks a little bit more Maru-esque. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him some markings, which again, I'm going to try to kind of follow the form of his body and also the direction that his fluff would be going. So he has some, it's a little hard to tell on this black and white picture. My printer refuses to print anything but black and white at home. But he does have some stripes. So I'm gonna real quick just block in where some of these striped patterns would go. Remember, again, a little bit will go a long way when you're doing patterns on a cat. You don't have to go super detailed to have it really show what kind of pattern the cat has got. I'm just gonna add some areas of stripes. With, again, my stripe lines are following this same direction that the hair is going to be going down this way. And some on his tail, and then a little bit on his face. And then, again, the fur on his face, if you look at kind of cat and dog faces, the fur kind of goes like out and around their head. So I'm still kind of following, well, actually, I don't know. If I have the stripes going this way in his head, it kind of looks like his fur is going this way. So maybe I'll add some fur lines going down this way for his head. You can experiment with it and see which way you like drawing the pattern lines for your cat or your dog. And there we have it. I don't know why my Maru drawing came out looking quite so upset. This one doesn't look quite so upset, but that's okay. Let's give him a slightly more cheerful cat expression. There we go. So there you have it. There's my sketchy Maru the cat. I hope that was entertaining and informational for you. I would love it if you guys did some drawings and either sent them to goggleworks or to me. My email is lilyhannamail@gmail.com, and you can find goggleworks contact information on their website. But also, if you just want to post it to your social media and then hashtag goggleworks, then we'll also see it that way. And we would love it if everybody could, share some drawings together and some online art experience while we're all temporarily separated at home. And then while we kind of keep up this art community in the meantime, hopefully we will all be able to see each other again at goggleworks very soon. So stay safe and well, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great evening.